Hello students, the purpose of this video is to tell you everything about the IELTS speaking test. So I'm going to talk about the structure of the interview, what will happen when you go into that room with the examiner, and sounds a little scary, right? But you don't need to be nervous. If you are well prepared, then you will give a good performance. So the first thing that you need to remember is that it's a one-on-one interview, face-to-face, one-on-one interview. That means in the room there will be two people, you and the examiner. The second thing that you need to remember is that there's a proper structure to the interview. It's not like the examiner is going to ask you random questions about everything and anything. He has a proper list of questions and he can ask you questions only from that list. And there's a proper structure that he will have to follow. So there are three parts to the interview. Part 1, which is going to last about 5 minutes. Then part 2, which will last 3 minutes. And finally, part 3, which will be around 5 to 6 minutes long. So in the first part of the interview, the examiner will ask you questions related to you and your life. For example, the examiner may ask you about your family, about your friends, what you do in your free time, about your neighborhood, your hometown, maybe about your job if you are a working professional, about your previous education, your future plan. He may ask you about your habits, for example, your food habits, reading habits, TV watching habits, the kind of games that you like to play, the kind of websites that you surf in your free time on the internet, the kind of mobile phone that you use, the kind of clothes that you like to wear, the kind of music you listen to, the kind of movies that you like to watch, and so on and so forth. So the good thing about part 1 is that all the questions will be related to you and your life. So hopefully you will not fall short of ideas. Okay, now coming to part 2 of the interview, it is called individual long run. That means one person has to speak at length on a given topic. The topic is in the form of a cue card. And before you start your speech, you will also get 1 minute to think and plan what you're going to say. So let's suppose that this is the topic that you get in your part 2 of the speaking test. The topic is describe a journey that you undertook recently or in the past. You must include in your speech when, where and with whom you traveled, what you saw on the way, what problems you faced, and why that trip was memorable for you. There are two things I would like to tell you before I start speaking on the cue card. The first thing is that you must try and cover all the cues. These cues are given to help you to expand upon your ideas and to speak for 1.5 to 2 minutes. So you must try and cover all the cues, but the sequence of the cues is not important. For example, you may cover cue number 3 first and then come back and talk about cue number 2. So the sequence, the order in which the cues are given is not important. You can change the order, but you must try and cover all the cues. The second thing to remember is that when you start speaking on the cue card topic, you should try and start with a short introduction. So now I'm going to speak on this cue card, and I will try to keep my speech between 1.5 to 2 minutes. So I have the timer in front of me and I will note down the time when I'm starting the speech. Okay, here it goes. I'm very fond of traveling and I love to go to new places whenever I get a chance. Today I would like to talk about a journey which I undertook with my family to Shimla by car. We made this trip last month. The purpose of the trip was just to have fun. We had a few holidays and we wanted to visit a hill station. We started the journey at 6 o'clock in the morning and we reached Chandigarh at around 11 o'clock. There we had lunch and we also went to Sector 17 to do some shopping. At 2 o'clock we started for Shimla. Now the journey from my hometown to Chandigarh was very enjoyable. It was a pleasant day, the weather was very fine, and we also passed through many villages and towns. There were green fields on both sides of the road. But the journey from Chandigarh to Shimla was simply amazing because the scenery was very beautiful, and in fact we stopped at many places to enjoy the scenery, to click photographs and to have tea and snacks. The only problem I faced during this journey was that just a few kilometers before Shimla, the car got punctured. And then all my family members had to get out of the car. It took me around 20 minutes to change the tire. Apart from this, we did not face any other problem on this trip. There were many memorable things about this trip. First of all, it was the first time that my whole family was traveling together in a new car. Secondly, it was the first time that my children were getting a chance to go to Shimla. I had already visited Shimla with my college friends, but my children had never been to Shimla. And thirdly, it was the first time when I got a chance to drive independently on winding hilly roads. I was a little nervous, but luckily I did not face any problem. In fact, I gained a lot of confidence by making that trip. So in many ways, it was a fantastic trip for me as well as my family members, and we all enjoyed it very much. So you will have the cue card in your hand for a period of 3 minutes. 1 minute when you are thinking and planning, you will have the cue card with you. And then for 2 minutes when you are speaking, you will have the cue card in front of you. And you should keep referring to the cue card to track your progress, to see how many cues you have covered, how many cues are left. And once you have finished your speech, the examiner will ask you to give back the cue card. And then he will start with part 3 of the interview in the third part, which is called two-way discussion. In the third part, he will ask you some questions, further questions on the topic that was given to you in part 2. For example, if you got this topic, talk about a trip or journey that you undertook recently, I'm going to give you some examples of the kind of questions that the examiner might ask. The first question is, what do you think are the advantages of traveling? So you may say that, I think there are many advantages of traveling. When a person travels, he gets a chance to see new places, to meet new people, and to have new experiences. Secondly, he also gains confidence because he has to make the whole travel plan, he has to take care of his luggage, he has to keep his money in a safe place. And thirdly, he also has to interact with strangers. So he also improves his communication skills. So overall, I think it's a very educative experience and a person must travel as much as he can. This is the kind of length that the examiner is looking for. He doesn't want very short answers from you. He wants you, especially in part 3, he wants you to explain your answers at length and maybe also give some examples. Question number 2. What problems do people face while traveling? People may face many problems while traveling. First of all, when a person is traveling, he cannot get homemade food. So he has to manage with whatever is available. Secondly, a person may not get comfortable accommodation. He may not get a very good hotel room. Thirdly, he may lose his luggage. His money can be stolen because in public places like bus stands and railway stations, there are all kinds of antisocial elements like thieves and pickpockets. And a person may also fall sick while traveling. He may catch an infection. A person may miss a bus or a train. So there are so many problems that a person may face while traveling. And yes, one other problem is that a person may face a language barrier. If he travels to a place where people speak a different language, then he may find it difficult to communicate with the local people. Number 3, what precautions should a person take while traveling? There are many precautions that a person should take while traveling. You know, the first sentence of your answer can be drawn from the question itself. So there are many precautions that a person should take while traveling. First of all, he should try to make all bookings and reservations in advance, which is very easy these days because of the net. Secondly, a person should try to eat only packaged food and drink only bottled water as far as possible so that he doesn't catch any infection and fall sick. Thirdly, he should take care of his luggage. He should keep his money in a safe place. And if a person is traveling by a private vehicle, he should get his vehicle properly serviced before starting the journey. And if a person is traveling by public transport, he should not trust strangers. Number 4, what is the role of tourism in the modern world? I think tourism plays a very important role in the modern world. First of all, tourism has become a very big industry. So millions of people around the world get employment because of tourism. Secondly, tourism helps people of different nationalities, people of different cultures to interact with each other, to understand each other's culture and customs and traditions better. So I think in this way, tourism also promotes global peace and harmony. And thirdly, I think that tourism is also responsible for the very fast development of some areas which become tourist hotspots. Okay, the next is what are the harmful effects of tourism? Although tourism is very popular these days and it has many benefits, uh, yet there are also some negative effects of tourism. First of all, when a place becomes a tourist spot, that place becomes dirty because tourists throw plastic bottles, paper napkins, paper plates everywhere. It becomes a huge garbage dump. Secondly, when a place becomes a tourist spot, it becomes highly commercialized because investors come there and they want to build malls and theaters and hotels and restaurants, and the natural beauty of the place is destroyed. And thirdly, tourism also puts a lot of pressure on the natural resources of a place. So overall, I think that tourism should be promoted, but measures should be taken to reduce its negative impact. Number six, is your country an important tourist destination for international tourists? Yes, I think that my country is a very important tourist destination for international tourists. Millions of tourists from all around the world come to India every year, and there are many reasons why India is so popular among tourists. First of all, India has a very rich culture. There are 28 states in India, and people living in different states speak different languages, wear different clothes, follow different customs. Secondly, India has many historical monuments, world famous historical monuments like the Taj Mahal in Agra and the Red Fort in Delhi and the Golden Temple in Amritsar. And thirdly, India is a very beautiful country because it has all kinds of natural features. There are beautiful beaches in the south of the country. Then there are hill stations in the north. There's a desert in Rajasthan. There are so many lakes and rivers. So international tourists can really have a good time if they come to India. They can experience the rich culture and they can also enjoy the natural beauty of India.